Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank y'all so much for stopping by the live stream today. How's everybody feeling today? You feeling okay? I hope so. Shout out to the NTZ crew. That's Jacob Tanjay. It might be a little bit too early for Michael Beach of Life. Thank y'all for what y'all do for the channel. All my fourth quarter members, if you're on here already, I'm coming on early again. We have something to do today. We got to catch a ferry. All my old heads, I see Doubtful Genius on here. Thank y'all, man, for all your continued support throughout the years. Any new viewers and subscribers? It looks like a new viewer right here. Welcome. Anybody catching this on replay? There's Robert Morris. What's up? One of the fourth quarter members. I haven't forgotten y'all. Once we get to where we're going, I'm gonna have a members only live stream this week. I'm gonna try to do one or two every week. The peso is 55.79. It's still about the same place where it was before. Uh, I guess that's where it's going to be for a while. It usually sits there wherever it is. It reaches its high point. It just sits there for a few months. Hey, Roscoe Farms, Palawan. Hey, house is RC in Jackson here. Hey, man. Long time no see, man. Welcome to the chat. Thank you, brother, for stopping by. Are you in Palawan? Which I know we always have a topic. What's up, Johnny S? I see you, TJ. Yeah, I got on here early, man. We have to catch a ferry. We're headed over to Sikihor, for a few days of rest and relaxation. But believe it or not, I hadn't even been to the beach since I've been back. Today is 3 weeks since I touched back down in the Philippines. I hadn't seen the sand. That's not me, man. But I do want to say before we get started, the meet and greet, guys, if you coming, it's May 31st. That's next Saturday, not this Saturday coming, but the following Saturday after Memorial Day in San Carlos City at Carmel's Inn and Restaurant. They built a new wing and we reserved a spot over there. It's nice. I put it on my community page. I'm going to do it again, and then I'll do it again next week. Really nice, food, fun. We're going to have some live singers. We're going to have karaoke. You can go swimming if you want. If you need a room, the numbers on in my community page, I'll put it back up again. It's a brand new place. What's up, Cisco? So just come on through. It's always great people to show up at these places. I mean, it never fails. But we always have a topic. Today's topic is one size doesn't fit all in the Philippines. What works for you may not work for everyone. And the reason I came up with that, we were on the boulevard yesterday. We're in Dumaguete. I'm getting my extension while I'm here. And, we were walking on the boulevard. I guess it's around 5:30. And it's a lot of foreigners there. I don't know if they were alone or by themselves. It's a big difference. Being alone means you don't have anybody. You haven't met anybody. You come to the Philippines, you're just wandering around by yourself or by yourself. Sometimes the woman is still at the condo, at the house, or whatever. She didn't come with you. A lot of times you'll see men at the grocery store, at the mall, and most of the times they're by themselves. They're not alone. And I was just wondering to myself, what message did they receive from the vloggers? But before I get started, let me answer this question. He says, the cost of living getting tough in the Philippines, Cal. Well, it just all depends. How are you trying to live? We talked about this on my last live stream. Most of us, Steve, we don't take advantage of the lower cost of living over here. We want what we want. Okay, we're not ready to make any changes. We're not downsizing. We're not doing anything. I always bring up my buddy Angelo Habib. Shout out to Angelo. He's probably not up. It's early for him. He's on his way back to Canada. He's been here for 16 months, and he said his budget is the same in Canada as it is here in the Philippines. But just all depends on who you are, Steve. Me personally, yeah, my budget went way down. But my situation is a little different. It's 6 of us basically that I'm taking care of. Most guys over here aren't taken care of anywhere near that amount. So family size, where you live, do you live in Metro Manila? Do you live in Cavite up there? Do you live in Cebu, San Carlos City? Where do you live? That has a lot to do with it. But honestly, most of us, Steve, we just don't take advantage of the low cost of living. We want Western foods, or we want it cooked like we used to having it at home. So we spend a lot of money on chicken and fish and beef and shrimp. But for me, yeah, my budget's way down. Hey, Rocket Runner, welcome to the fourth quarter. Thanks for your support. I really, really mean it. We'll have a members only live stream. And once I get to where I'm going, because the first 2 days in Sikihor, we're going to stay where I used to live, our old hunting grounds. But then after that, we took a risk. We're going to stay a little further down the coast on a resort. I just wanted to do it, and I'll probably do a members only there. What's up, Lonnie? He said, this is who? Cupcake. Louis Castillo. I don't know what you're talking about. He said, what's that purple crown next to my name? Did I win a prize? I think that's your membership level. You know, they got 3 memberships, I think. That's all YouTube, guys. That's not me. I think that's what that is, Cisco. Crazy, right? YouTube and all this stuff. They come up with all this stuff. I can't see it, by the way. I can't see it. I missed something back here. I wanted to. Yeah, that's Lonnie. What's up, Ryan? He says, hello, Cal and Sunshine Shows crew. Checking in. Hey, thank you, man, for joining today. But yeah, that budget, man, that's what I'm talking about today, Steve, believe it or not. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Bloggers, we generalize a lot. Okay, we have no idea. We're just talking into the camera, but a lot of us have no idea who we're really talking to. We think we're just talking to this, we put everybody in the same basket. We don't realize that, age, race, creed, finances, looks, all that plays a part in your results over here. We don't know if the people we're talking to are going to be able to capitalize on the opportunities that we speak about. So a long time ago, I just started talking about my life. But if you got a 45-year-old and a 70-year-old, they're going to look at the same video, but they're going to get something totally different. We should make a disclaimer on our vlogs that results may vary. Our results will vary. It's more like it. But we generalize a lot, especially when it comes to dating. And people watch these videos and they'll say, oh, if he can do it, I can do it. Instead of, can I do that? Is the Philippines a good fit for me? Can I stand the heat? Here lately, there's been a lot of videos about being single overseas. Well, no matter where you live, is that going to work for you? It depends on who you are. A lot of guys are lonely in their country. Why would you want to come over here and be lonely? And what I've noticed is people with outgoing personalities, they tend to do better with meeting people, meeting women. Even if you could come over here and get involved with a young, attractive woman, can you handle that? Are you built for that? We put it out there as if everybody's built for this over here, and they're not. So I wanted to talk about it, because there's a guy, I was watching a video yesterday. Hold on, let me cut on this air conditioner. I cut it off when I took my shower. But he was talking about how living single, he seems to be, looks to be like in his 50s, early 60s at the most. He's talking about how happy he is living alone. He said, yeah, some days I'm thinking, am I ready for a relationship? Do I want to get in a relationship? Do I want to have a live-in? He said, but right now it's really going good. But you can tell by his attitude and everything, he's still on the pink cloud. He hasn't been here long because I'm thinking this is his second extension. He's about to get his ATR card. So, he's still on pink cloud, but it's working for him. But will it work for some of those guys we saw yesterday? I don't think so. Some guys, man, I'm going to tell you this. Some of you guys may need somebody over here when you get off the plane. Not everybody. Have you ever heard that expression, get in where you fit in? You got to know who you are, man. You can't really go by what these vloggers are saying. Yeah, take the information, but we're generalizing, man. We're throwing a bucket of paint out there. It's going to splash. We're going to throw it against the wall. Something's going to stick, but your results are going to vary, guys. And I just wanted to talk about that, because, people, they scrutinize us too much. They blame us too much, man. It's you. It's you. Can you take the information we give you and make it work for you? That's all I'm saying. A lot of times we can't do it. So you blame the vlogger. You say we're lying, especially when it comes to dating. How many times you looked in the comment section and they say, oh, when I got over there, man, the women wasn't even looking at me. Well, it could be you. It could be your personality. It could be something you're doing wrong. What's up, Chief? He said, what's going on, Cal, and the Sunshine Shoulders fam? Good to see you, man. Welcome to the chat. Get in where you fit in. Raymond says the first thing anybody should think about when they move over there is the economy. Get themselves suited, settled, I guess, and some real estate and get some extra income for their retirement. Well, a lot of people don't want to deal with that, Raymond, and a lot of people aren't capable of that. How many times have you watched on YouTube, Facebook, you see people up here with these get rich quick schemes? They're talking to everybody as if everybody has the ability to work that system. It's the same way with these vlogs. It's the same way with moving to Thailand, to the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, and stuff like that. We're talking to everybody as if we have the same skills, that you can come over here and adapt and make the Philippines work for you. So yeah, we need to put a disclaimer. Results may vary, but more than likely, results will vary. But yeah, we're doing too much blaming the vloggers, man. You know yourself better than we do. Hey, Alan, he says, my Filipino fiance met me at the airport and happily married for 28 months. Yeah, you're still on your honeymoon. I'm still on my honeymoon. Me and Merlin been together over 6 years. We're still on a honeymoon. Man, a honeymoon with a Filipino could last, man, decades, really. Remember, you're not going to know what you got until she gets what she wants. But Congratulations, Alan. I'm glad, man. For some people, it works out. You know, the woman meeting them at the airport, and that's it. But some guys, you know, they look at these younger guys, and the younger guys are saying, oh, be single over here. Because I said it. I said, you know, if I could do it all over again, which is too late for me. Remember, I made the video. I said, I didn't spend enough me time. But I was young. Remember now, you're talking about from 45, now I'm 62. I came over here at 45, man. If I'd have came over here at 62, I probably would have met a woman at the airport with no problem. I wouldn't even been thinking about living single. It depends on who you are. But a lot of that's been pushed out there, and they don't realize everybody's absorbing that message. So you got older guys. I mean, it's a lot of them, man. I'm not playing. Come here, and not that there's anything wrong with it. And I don't really know 100% sure if they are alone or just by themselves. But there's a lot of them walking around on that boulevard, and they can't come over here and capitalize. I don't want to say take advantage because that sounds too, you know, it sounds like, you know, you're doing something wrong. What's up, W Secrets? He said, he strongly recommended everyone first visit these countries, but selling everything and moving there, the women are the easy part, but do you like the environment, infrastructure, etc.? Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. And can you make it work for you? Are you capable of living overseas, away from your friends and family and the familiar? Have you ever did that before? Do you realize how hard that is for real? This is a long way over here, man. But yeah, visit the countries, but they know themselves, W Secret, to success. You know whether or not you're going to be able to come over here and do some of the things that bloggers talk about. But you see these guys over here and you think, oh man, you know, if he could do it, I can do it. Well, maybe not. You know, I say get in where you fit in. If the Philippines is just a vacation for you, to make it a vacation. If it don't fit, don't force it. That's when you get unhappy. What's up, Tony? The results will vary, guys. I'm sorry, but it's true. He says, I'm literally sitting here in the shade at Disney California Adventure, waiting on the family to come back with food. I out here too. Yeah. Now, is this what they did? Did they rename Disneyland Disney California Adventure? Because I remember in 1982, 1982, I was going to A school in San Diego, and we drove down. We rented a car and we drove down to Disneyland. And I'm gonna tell you what the biggest disappointment for me was. That castle that they used to show on, you know, the World of Disney to come on Sundays, you just walk right through it. It was a facade. I'm thinking we're gonna go in the castle into it. No, you just walk right through it. Oh man, you talk about disappointed. I was very disappointed. Hey, John R. He says, I know a few older guys here that are single. They don't want to commit to a relationship. Yeah, and like I said, everybody's different. I'm not picking on older guys. Hell, I'm an older guy. I'm just saying that there's no one size fits all over here. Everybody that comes over here is not going to have the same results as everybody else, you know. People who come to the Philippines isn't a fit for them. But instead of saying, you know, this wasn't a fit for me, they'll start putting the Philippines down. Oh, it's not what the blogger said it is. Yes, it is. We're giving you our experience. It is all that to me. I don't know about anybody else. Okay. I'm not trying to force that on you. I'm not trying to sell that to you. This is what people are wrong. I'm not selling you anything. Okay. I was able to capitalize on what's over here. And just because you can't do it doesn't mean it's the Philippines' fault. It doesn't even mean it's your fault. It just means this wasn't for you. But yeah, they sit here, man, because they will literally remember everything you say. And when they get over here and it doesn't uh, line up to what you were talking about in their life, like Mike from Canada, he literally thought women were going to be lined up at the airport with flowers waiting for him. Guys, that's not going to happen, okay? You really have to, uh, work your act over here is what we used to say. Remember, I tell you, you got to have some type of conversation, persuasion. You got to be a decent human being. What's up, Lonnie? I said, hey, Cal, you tried the American cheeseburger and onion rings at the filling station? Delicious. Now, I had a craving that day for some tacos. I just wanted to, I'm always looking for the perfect taco over in the Philippines. And it was okay, but it wasn't La Lucha and uh, the Bantayan uh, taco place in Bantayan Alley. It certainly wasn't that. Next time I will, Lonnie. He says, I've seen a few expats on YouTube living on the streets because they run out of money and have no income. Yeah, see, some of us need a tour guide or a life coach is what I kind of call them. If the women sometimes, because they can teach you all about the Philippines. It's one thing about Maryland. She's got my back, man. It's more than just what we think it is. She tells me what's the deal, what's not a deal, because I don't really know. I'm better at it now. But a lot of guys, they get off the plane and I don't want to get in a relationship. You know nothing about the Philippines. You know nothing about the culture. You just bringing yourself with you, your spending habits, your bad habits, and everything. And next thing you know, you broke. I know not to spend. I'm not going to spend 40,000 pesos a month on a condominium nowhere in the Philippines. I'm not. And people do that because, like we were talking on the last live stream, they don't want to change. They don't want any cultural, engagement. They just want to come over here and live their same life just in the Philippines. They're not going to make any changes. They don't want to learn the language. They don't want to do anything. And this could be, John, a result of people hearing about how cheap it is over here and thinking, it's cheap over there. I can bring 5,000 and live for a year. You see, broke John, he brought 32,000 or whatever it was, 37,000. Thought it was gonna last him 3 years. Yeah, you're dreaming, man. Luckily, he got help to get home and, you know, able to get his Social Security. Now he's back. But you got to get in where you fit in. Yeah, the filling station. Yeah, I like their food. Maryland had some shrimp. It just looked delicious. I mean, the tacos I had were good, but the one thing I didn't like about the one drawback was that it had that old sweet, like they put that little sweet mayonnaise type stuff as the taco sauce. I'm sorry, that's not taco sauce. Okay, and that's what messed it up. But it was good. I ate it, you know. Rocket Runner says, I walked around the boulevard, not looking for anyone, just feeling experience being in the Philippines. I was welcome. People accepted me. Being a black man, feeling accepted, feeling regular. Yeah, like I said, it just brought something up to my mind, Rocket Runner, when I saw so many guys. Because I honestly, I didn't know if they were alone or by themselves. But it just made me think, you know, first of all, the Philippines isn't for everybody. Thailand isn't for everybody. You're not going to get the same results. Stop blaming bloggers. You know what I'm saying? Get in where you fit in. Are you able to capitalize on what's over here? Can you even live overseas? It's a lot of questions that I don't, because see, I don't know you. I'm just putting the information out there. I don't know who's receiving this information, how they're processing it. And then when they get over here and they say, how Cal was lying about that. The women, you know, they're not even looking at me over here. Oh, it's more expensive over here than the bloggers are saying. You can't live off 1,000. Yes, you can. Some people can live off 1,000 over here. I know two guys that are probably watching this live stream right now who are living on less than 1,000 and they're happy. But you got to get in where you fit in. Hey, Haver 711, thanks for that super chat. He said, peace. He's over in, are you still in Thailand? You know, Thailand was what did it for him. But what works for me probably not going to work for y'all. I take a lot of risks. You know, no balls, no blue chips. I take a lot of risks. But you're probably going to get better results if you're 62 than 82. Certainly with the women. Um, he said, John, oh, what you know about high society? That used to be in Angeles City. And there's a lot of talk going around about tourism numbers are down, in the Philippines. And people are saying, we know why, why? Well, first of all, if you didn't know, there's some high profile killings of South Koreans over here that have gone unsolved. And the South Korean government is warning their citizens about coming to the Philippines. And South Koreans are the number one tourists that come here by far. They used to almost double what the United States or Americans were. The last time I really looked, in 2019, the last real numbers they had, it was 1.8 million South Koreans came to the Philippines that year versus 1 million Americans. And they're not coming. And they're putting pressure on the embassy here. The South Korean embassy in Manila is putting pressure on the Philippine government to strengthen the protection against their citizens. They feel they're being targeted. I mean, it's some real high profile cases, man. And then also, you know, when we talk about foreigners, we forget, man, Western foreigners are not the only foreigners to come over here. There was a Chinese Filipino businessman that was just kidnapped, him and his driver, and killed over here. You know, they captured like the mastermind, they call it, but they had already paid the ransom and they still killed him. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of the Asian tourists and Asian expats are targeted over here, because Asians will pay, the bad guys know that Asians will pay the ransom. They're not going to kidnap you, man, because they know Americans and the American government is not going to pay the ransom. And they're not going to encourage you to pay it. So they're wasting their time. And they know who's got the money over here. But that's one of the big reasons. I believe the South Korean tourism is down something like almost 40% coming to the Philippines. That's a lot of people, and that's a lot of money. It was, I don't know how long y'all been associated with the Philippines, but I want to say 2011, there was a policeman who got, a Filipino policeman who got fired from his job. Well, he commandeered a tour bus and killed just about everybody on the bus. And it strained relations between, I want to say these tourists were from Hong Kong. Somebody help me, Chinese. It was a big deal over here. And they were saying that the Filipino police and everything handled the situation wrong. But he ended up killing a bunch of them. You know, maybe one or two people survived or whatever it is. Okay, he says you have to change your spending habits and learn some culture and stay out of trouble, or you'd be called the ugly American. Good luck. Yeah, we're just really talking today about know what you're coming into. You know yourself better than I do. Am I really going to be able to have the results that I see other men having on these vlogs? You know, that's why it's very important that I tell you about my life and show you more than anything else. Okay, because I talk about guys all the time. They get on here, they talk about dating, they talk about relationships, but you never see them with a woman. And these are big vloggers. Lots of people are watching the channels. You know, sometimes it's your example. You know, they say, you know, it's your actions, man, that speaks a whole lot louder than your words. But a lot of you guys, man, you really couldn't handle a young woman. Can you? Oh, okay. Hybrid says, I had to turn off the VPN super chat. Is that what that is? Sometimes guys say that. They have a problem. So maybe that's it. But thank you. A lot of guys, you know, even if you could, you think to yourself, can I really handle everything that goes on with having a younger woman? What that entails? You know, all eyes on you in public. And then even in private, you know, you got to work that thing. And then, you know, all her little things that she does as a young woman, all that giggling and laughing on the phone, watching her phone all day. Can you handle all of that? And the younger they are, the more money they always need. You know, because you know when they're young like that, they're really with you for finances. But that don't matter anything. I'm glad I remembered this because they're always saying, especially these Western women, oh, she only wants you for your money. Well, what do you want a man for? Western ladies, if you watching, what do Western women and American women want a man for? Is that why they end up with a lot of these bums and stuff? I mean, well, you should applaud a woman who wants a man for his money. What do you want him for? I was thinking this came across my mind yesterday. He said, Cal, what's your favorite airline you use flying international? I like Korean Airlines, really any of the Asian airlines. And this was, a friend gave me this suggestion because I used to fly Delta strictly. You know, I was a frequent flyer member, and I guess I still am. But he said, man, since you're going to Asia, he said, why don't you just fly Asian Airlines? So I've flown ANA. My very first trip to the Philippines was Korean Airlines. I really liked them. I Cathay Pacific, which is what I took this time. I even took PAL, a combination of PAL and Delta on my way back home. But yeah, I'm going to say Korean. I like Cathay Pacific really because they got good planes. Every experience I've ever had with them, the flights have been so smooth. You're talking about 15-hour flight. When I came here in 2018, Buttermilk Biscuits, the seatbelt sign never came on. Now, this last trip from Chicago to Hong Kong, it came on one time. And this was almost when we were to homecoming, and it only stayed on maybe 10 minutes. Those are the type of flights I like, but Korean Airlines really treats you good. Hey, what's up, Alpha, man? I said my favorite channel, my new favorite channel. Don't do anything stupid. Yeah, I just made that video yesterday to remind people of the stupid shit we do over here. If it's stupid, we're going to do it. And I think that comes from a lot of what we're talking about now. Are you even capable of handling what goes on over here, man? You know, it's a different ball game over here, guys. But people don't believe it. They look at you and say, "Oh, you can handle it. I can handle it. Can you handle it? What type of personality are you? What's up, Kamal? Are you outgoing? Do you have an easy time meeting people? This is the reason why a lot of people can't even master the dating site, thinking they're going to get over here and master the Philippines. You can't even get, you can't even make it to first base. The dating site is first base. Getting over here is the home run. You can't get to first base. You can't even get through the damn dating site. We were talking about that yesterday. Because Merlin was like, that's why a lot of these older guys, they are discouraged from, having a live-in and everything because they end up meeting the wrong woman online. And I was like, yeah, you're right. She said you end up meeting the women who strictly are scammers and strictly, want you for your money and everything like that. They really have no intention on ever really being with you. They're playing some type of games. Because when you sign up on the dating site, you think that's all you got to do. And man, it's a whole lot to that dating site. And that's why some guys, I've met guys over here, they cannot master the dating site. Mike from Canada couldn't do it. I met a guy from South Carolina. He couldn't do it. If you can't master that dating site, you ain't got a shot over here, really. Most guys don't have a shot because that's where we meet the women. We meet them online like that. Oh, okay, he says he's back in the U.S., but I'll return to Thailand soon. Yeah, I know that's your place over there. But yeah, guys, I'm just going to give you that suggestion to get in where you fit in. Because remember, the guy said it, wherever I go, there I am. What's up, Johnny? He said, why are there like 14 likes? I don't know, man. People ought to know better by now. If I watch somebody's video, if I watch it for a certain amount of time, I'm going to automatically hit the like. Okay. That's because they've held my attention for that long. I got to give them that out of respect. But yeah, it's been a lot of talk about, that comes with the game, really. And I ignore them. I really don't watch them. But that just comes along with the ball game. But yeah, I ignore them. But yes, a lot of talk about, because they won't say it to my face. They can make those videos all they want. They're really my biggest fans. They bring me more subscribers than anybody. Okay, imagine somebody sits there and watches your live stream. There's a guy watching me right now. After this live stream, if I say something he don't agree with, he's going to send me an email. It goes straight to spam, but I started keeping them just in case. But what type of people are there? See, we don't know who we're talking to out here. We just take for granted that everybody that sees our videos are sane people. They're in their right, man. Like I said, they're capable of I don't want to say taking advantage. I want to say capitalize on what's over here. Yeah, but I wouldn't use that word, man. You know that's a derogatory. Don't use that kind of language on my channel, man. You know, because if somebody calls you the N word, you'd be upset. You know, why would you even call somebody that? Come on, man. We can do better. What's up, Q? I don't know what you're talking about, yeah. But everybody thinks they're gonna have the same results. He said, "Hey, what's the temperature like there over there in the month of July?" The rainy season is getting ready to start, and but depending on what part of the Philippines you're going to be visiting, it's going to depend on how much rainfall you get. All these islands are different. The weather patterns are going to be different. Like it's raining right now. It just stopped here in Dumaguete. So look for rain wherever you go. And the hottest time is May. So the closer you get from like December to February, that's usually when you get that cool break. You're going to get a break. But it's usually the same. No matter how much it rains, the sun is eventually going to come out and it's going to be hot. That's been my experience over 16 years. Sometimes I have to ask Marilyn, I thought you said it's the rainy season. Well, where's the rain? It's hot as hell, dry as a bone. But you can count on one thing, it's going to be hot. Bring some good sunglasses, bring some light clothing in color and in weight. Yeah, a lot of rain, but he must be up in Luzon. Luzon gets more rain than just about anybody. And because whenever it rains here, just in St. Carlos, every now and then we may get an all day rain, maybe once a year, one day out of the year. Most of the time, it's going to spit for about 5 minutes, and that's it. But you can always count on it being hot here. That's for sure. Well, this all depends. He says the province girls are the best, most certainly over city girls. But how would you know that she's from the city when a lot of the province girls are in the city? That's where they go to get jobs and go to school and everything like that. There's a thick culture here. You know, be careful what you wish for. Are province girls a lot more naive? Probably, yeah. But you're gonna, be careful what you wish for. Is all I'm saying when you come over here, because I dated them both. Hey, what's up, MJB to in the P2B? Man, welcome back to the chat. It's been a while. You know, when it comes to that, it's like I just want a decent woman. You know, Maryland's from the city, and my son's mother's from the province. My wife is from the city. You know, I've never had a problem with a woman over here. The problem's always been the time being with me. You know, I tell you all the time, man, I've never really had a bad experience. You know, my son's mother, man, she was just, she was from the province, but I met her in the city. And she just loved hard. And, she just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to use her, you know. See, they'll put your feet to the fire. They don't play, province girls. You're not going to waste their time. You know, she wants to know what's your plans for me. You're going to sit around and screw me all the day. And that's it. You know, after a while, they're going to put the hammer down. You know, they want to know, who are you? What are your plans for me? You know, I'm not a playtime. I mean, that's a pastime. That's their favorite word. W secret to success. He said, yeah, plus take a bath, brush your teeth, put a dab of smell good on for those that don't believe in personal hygiene. It makes a big difference. He said, scratch my damn head. Some people fly across the world and don't bathe. Well, it's true. That's what I'm saying. And we expect the same results. See, y'all hitting it on the nose today. Me and Marilyn, we seen some strange couples yesterday, which you're always going to see over here. And I mean, these women over here were attractive, man, in Dumagetti. You see a lot of attractive women. And some of these guys, man, you be like, do you think she's really happy? I'm saying, to Marilyn. And, you know, I said, even though I think I've seen it all, I haven't seen it all, man. You haven't seen it all till you come over here. And a lot of these guys, you can see what's coming. It's only a matter of time this girl get what she wants. She's bouncing. You think you done hit the jackpot? No, you done stepped on a landmine, dude. It's getting ready to blow up on you in a minute. I mean, they're disheveled, and their personal hygiene is horrible. And you see them with these young, attractive women. What's up, Brandon? All my life. He says, what's up, Cal and Sunshine Show's family? Got my round trip ticket to Manila for this coming November. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Philippines is all about. Thanks for preparing us. Yeah, and this is, you're going to put, you're going to be boots on the ground now. And no matter what happens, it's all going to be up to you, Brandon, all my life. There's too much blame in the vloggers that's going on. And I don't understand it. People, one guy was on here the other day, he said, yeah, I don't like those bloggers that basically prostitute their women to get views. And I'm like, well, what vlogs are you watching? I'm not seeing that. And then all those other, there's sugarcoating and selling the Philippines to people. I don't see that. Most of the time, what I see now, the people that come across my feed, there's a few exceptions that people talk about topics, but most of the time they're talking about their lives. Hiding in the Philippines, he's over in Bantayan Island. He talks about his life on that island over there. You very seldom get that kind of stuff where they're selling the Philippines because they don't get paid for that. And you can kind of tell when a new guy gets over here. He's on the pink cloud. He's still on the pink cloud. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can tell all his videos they're way out there. I mean, he's happy. He's smiling. Nothing's wrong, okay? But after a while, once the shit hits the fan, you'll see what they're made of. Hey, Herman, he said, hey, Cal, how's it feel to be home? I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, Herman. It's funny you even asked me this, man. Right before I fell off last night, I was saying, how much I miss my kids back in America. And, when I made that video about I never should have came back to America, man, that was real for me because now I'm like, everything that I had gotten, out of my system was poured right back into my system. And I saw how much my kids missed me and how eager my grandkids were to, meet me and, be around me. And just wasn't long enough. But my life is over here, man. It's just, I don't know. It's just so far away. And that's why I ask guys, do you really know what you're getting into? So I guess older guys would be probably more prepared to make the move because your children are grown, probably your grandchildren are grown. Most of your friends and everybody's passed on. But when you're younger, see Angelo Habib, he's leaving for good. I asked him, I said, you going? He said, yeah, I'm going for good. He said, Canada, The lifestyle there fits me better. He's only 44. He left a lot back there, man. He's got 2 kids. His parents are still alive. And he tried his best, man. He just couldn't fit in over here. But at least I can say that to him. He did give it a chance. 16 months is a pretty nice stretch. What's up, Blizzard abroad? He said, salute, brother Cal and the Sunshine Shoulders family. I see that your live streams are picking up a little steam. But now that you got a different schedule, man, you ought to take my suggestion. You ought to come on after me. And you'll see that your live streams will be a whole lot more people, a whole lot more livelier. Because it's the algorithm. The algorithm's not sending anybody your way. See, we, as a community, as a YouTube community, we can bypass the algorithm, but we don't want to work together. We think that we're competing against one another. We're not. People can watch your channel, my channel, whoever else's channel they want to. The videos, they stay up on YouTube. They don't go anywhere. But if enough people, because they help me do it. Okay, Dan Vagabond Away, Black American Expat Radio. These people were introducing me to their audiences, and the people were subscribing to my channel, watching my videos. So my subscriber count went up faster than it normally would. My watch time hours went up faster than it normally would. And I was able to bypass the algorithm. Otherwise, man, that's what Hayden in the Philippines is talking about today. It's taking him so long, but he doesn't realize that's normal. When you see people on here and they shoot up there real quick, they've done something. They've had some help. You know, collab with people. Whatever it takes. But you need help, man, to bypass that algorithm, because if you're just waiting on that algorithm, man, I'm sorry. The algorithm is, man, it's nasty. It's dirty. You'll be on YouTube forever. It'll discourage you. But I think they do that for a reason. I think that's the sifting process. They say, okay, you want a channel? You want to get popular on YouTube? Okay, we're going to run you through the ringer. We're going to see. We're going to put up every obstacle. Your best videos don't get no views. And then you look around at everybody else, be like, well, look at this junk he did, and it got 100,000. You just keep grinding, man. He said they all want money. That's right. But here's the thing. The Western women, Jacob Tanjay, they'll say, all those Filipinos, they only want you for your money. Well, what do you want me for? I mean, what do you want me for? And that's the reason. Is that the reason why my daughters ended up with the bums they with? I mean, I'm sorry. I can't call them anything but bums. If you're not working, you don't have a full-time job, you're a bum and you got children. There's no other, especially in America, where, you know, they're basically knocking down your door to give you a job. I mean, if you don't have any type of skills, you got to put round pegs in round holes. You know, quit complaining about that too. But this is the reason why women end up with bums over there. They'll take a look. They go for looks over there, is what they do. They ain't got nothing to do with your personality or anything. So the Filipino says, I don't care what you look like. Can you provide for me? I want somebody that can provide for me. Right off the top, I want that. And a lot of them end up getting lucky as hell, man. I mean, lucky. That's all you can call it. What's up, Calvin and Boy Speaks? What's up, Unc? And the Sunshine Shoulders crew. I'm on early today, man. We got to catch a ferry over the Siquijor, man. I've been back for 3 weeks, and I haven't even been to the beach, man. That's not me. Young Fresh Global Travel This is the guy who said the two things you gotta think about when you retire: do I have enough, and have I had enough? I called you global travelers, young fresh global travelers. He said, I'm 46 and my woman's 22. I've been with her now for 8 months. I flew to see her twice already, and going back in June 15th. I have no problems accepting that she needs my money. It is what it is. Yeah, I don't see what the problem would be anyway. There's an unspoken agreement. If you're getting what you want, guys, don't get in the way of her getting what she wants. Otherwise, it's going to be trouble. Why would you want to come to the Philippines and try to get something for nothing? I mean, you're going to have to spend no matter what. This is just that thing with us men. We want to always say, oh, I got it better than you. I don't care where you are. Jacob Tanji said, they all want money. You got to have money or you're going to look like that Neanderthal guy that Andrew Tate put up there. He said, this is what we all look like to women if you don't have money. Okay, so you can fool yourself. Now, you don't have to be a fool, though. You don't have to give it everything. This is where you got to be able to draw a line and think about what's reasonable. What's reasonable? And the only way you're going to know that is to know a little bit about her and about her culture. Otherwise, you're going to be dealing with her like you would deal with an American woman. You give an American woman $200, she's going to look at you like, you know, what are you doing? You're a bum. You cheat. So you'll think also, I got to give her 500 over here then. And you done gave her 3, 4, 5 months salary. I think that's the hardest part. But yeah, you got to pay. Okay, he says Etihad Airlines. Is that how you pronounce that? Yeah, that's one good thing that I like about the women that I've dealt with. They got very little body count, man. That's just the culture, though. But this new um, generation, like I said, the younger they are, things are different. You know, the women we're meeting now are not the women like Marilyn's mother, her generation on back. I guess Marilyn's mother would be considered a baby boomer if she were in America. You're not going to get that, man. Okay, you're going to get a variation of that, a mixture, but you're not going to get that. Okay, the reputation Filipinos have right now, that's where they got it from. Okay, the older women like they're like 60 on back. If you're dealing with these younger women now, man, they think all they got to do is be with you. All they got to do is look good and put on makeup and all that. And that's what we're accepting. There ain't gonna be no. I mean, Marilyn's mother, man, treats me like I'm her husband. Okay, but that's just how she was raised. That's just her tradition. It's crazy, man. I mean, I'm really impressed. She's got a memory like a trap. You just ask her to do something one time for you, and she's gonna do it the rest of her life. I mean, sometimes I be forgetting, like, because I used to make my own tea. Until one day she was watching me say, okay, I can do it. How many honey you want? How many bags of tea you want, right? And she see it was 8 o'clock. Every night at 8 o'clock, here she comes with the tea. Whether I ask for it or not, sir. I eat first, no matter what. If I'm at the gym, if I'm doing my walk, whatever it is, and dinner's done, don't nobody touch that food till I get there. See, that's the tradition of the Filipino, the real tradition. There's no argument. Oh, who eats first, the man or the house or the children? You know, Rashard is always saying, Cal, what's that story like? Well, the man's gonna eat first. Okay. Yeah, he said Eva Er. Yeah, he said agree. Yeah, they all want money. So just make sure you're getting what you want. But who's to say that you're able to handle the young women over here? Be careful what you wish for, guys. I'm telling you now. You just might get it over here. Yeah, he says I prefer evil. Yeah, see, a lot of times when I put in, yeah, sometimes I'd go like orbits, and evil doesn't come up. Either Korean Air, uh, Delta, United, what Cathay Pacific, but Eva Air is a Asian airline, right? What's up, Eric? But you know, just get in where you fit in over here. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Don't think because you see one man doing something, you're gonna be able to do it. You may get disappointed. A lot of guys come over here, they can't get a woman. Okay? But they'll blame it on the blogger. They'll say, oh, it's not that easy to get a woman. It's something you're doing wrong. He says, if people watch your red flags video, they can find a quality woman. You really nailed it. It really not that hard over here. You know, certainly if she dealt with a foreigner before, you know, but we don't want to ask them the tough questions. They're going to ask you the tough questions. Well, are you divorced? And you know, whose fault was it? Where are the children? They're going to ask you all that stuff. But we'll ask them stupid stuff. We're afraid because we think, oh, look at this beautiful woman I got. I'm going to run her off. Man, you better ask her the tough questions. Have you been with a foreigner before? Let me dick you and stuff, you know, and all that kind of stuff, man. You know, the online, it's not online dating, it's online chatting. Online chatting is so you can get to know each other as much about each other as you possibly can before you commit, because they want the commitment. But asking those questions on um, being disrespectful and stuff like that, you want to know the woman's body count and all that. Yeah, you have to be very careful, but there's a way to do it. Look, guys, most of the guys you see over here with women, certainly the vloggers, that's where they met them. We're not running up on these women on the street, John R., saying, hey, is it, can you do it? Yeah. I'm getting more and more to the point where as I travel around and my eyes are really open, because remember, most of the time I'm with Maryland. I'm seeing how, you know, humble and approachable these women are. But the good thing about meeting a woman online, you can sort of vet her a little bit then. You know, you can start asking her questions, there's things you need to know, but you got to know what you're doing on that dating site. That's where they are. Do you have to be careful? Absolutely, but that's where they are, guys. Okay. When you see these guys over here with dime pieces, which I don't want a dime piece. I don't want a 10. I don't want a 15. Y'all, I leave them for y'all. I leave them for the Filipino men. I don't want them. They're too much trouble. It's, you know, it's just, you're going to be competing a lot of times. You know, guys are going to raise the stakes. You know, you tell a woman how beautiful she is over and over and over, she's going to start believing it. I don't want I'm good with a yummy six at my age, at this stage in my life. You know, I want a decent human being. Her character means something to me. It's not all about looks anymore to me. I want to know, can I trust her? Yeah, they all want women. They all want money, but I don't want a woman that wants to steal my money because they're gonna burn it up. They're not gonna take care of it. You damn right. You gotta be careful. But that's where the women are, in my opinion. That's where they want you to meet them. You don't know who you walking up on over here. Whose daughter is that? Whose wife is that? Whose girlfriend is that? You got to be real careful. You don't know. But when they're on the dating site, at least they're saying, okay, I'm single. I'll date a foreigner. Because every woman over here, man, women over here, they're so bashful. Even if she did like you, she's going to be so, you know, she's not even going to be able to talk to you, basically. He said dating site is such easy business. If you can't navigate that, how you expect to not get taken to the cleaners when she put that kitten in arm's reach? Yeah, but like I said, none of your business though. You're taking for granted that everybody's the same when you say this. This is what I'm talking about today. One size doesn't fit all. Everybody's not able to navigate them dating sites and meet a nice woman and come over here and acclimate and adapt to the Philippines. When vloggers put that information out there, it's going out into a whole universe, man. People's age, race, creed, color, financial, situation, education. Is he divorced? Is he a widower? You know, your physical, uh, your physicality, which really that doesn't hold up, carry a whole lot of weight over here. Okay. But your personality, what type of personality you got? If you're shy, man, you're gonna have a hard time. You basically gonna have to meet the woman online because they're gonna be shy over here. If you think you're shy, they're gonna be twice as shy. And the reason it is because they respect us. They give us big time respect over here. But yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. As bloggers, and I take responsibility for this. We generalize a lot. Most of the time, I try to talk about my experiences over here. We generalize a lot, and we think that the information we're putting out there, everybody's going to be able to absorb it and capitalize, on what's over here, but they're not. Yeah, they struggle online. There ain't no. I'm telling you why. Because they end up meeting the wrong person. They think when they get online and they get all of them requests for messages, those are scammers, man. Filipinos don't operate like that. They're not gonna reach out to you like that. Very few cases like that. And so you get to guys brag about, man, the minute I signed up, man, I had 300 requests. I couldn't handle it. Yeah, because you're not even, you could just wipe all that clean and keep going. What's up, Hayden? I was just talking about you. He says, I know a Filipino here that has three guys. She's juggling. She flat out said it's the first one to show up gets her. They're all sending her money. Yeah, well, I already knew that. I told y'all that years ago. It's first come, first serve. And that's my situation. Maryland was chatting with three, but that doesn't make them bad because we lie a lot. A lot of men, they get online with these women and they tell them they're coming and they never come. They just keep sending money. They want you over here. The party don't start till you get here. What party? Whatever she's got in her mind. Do I want the visa? Do I want to get married? Do I want a better life? It's not real until you get here. That's what they want. See, that's how they vet you. It's not how much money you can send. It's when are you coming? That's when she knows, okay, this guy is serious. If he's gonna pay all that money for that ticket, fly all thing. If I want a lollipop, he's going to pay for it. Now, okay, he might be serious. Okay, that's when you're going to see who you're dealing with. That's why they do the things that they do. When you get here, she's going to reward you for that. Now, how do you bet her? You got to ask her questions, man. And you just got to, have the courage, man, to, to take what she tells you. And then listen, the family and the friends are going to tell on her. If she's chatting with other people, they're going to tell you. They're going to let it slip. But the women, they're going to chat with 3 men or 4 men, and you should do the same thing. Now, they get mad. The Filipinos get mad at me. I had a woman who called me. Well, she didn't call me. Well, she did call me. She's from St. Carlos City. And she said, yeah, my boyfriend watches you all the time, but I don't agree when you tell them to chat with 2 or 3 women. And here's how I shut her down. I said, so you tell me when you met him, you wasn't chatting with 2 or 3 men. And that was the end of that. But they get mad at you. They get mad at me for suggesting that to guys. Well, I would. Put 10 in. You go through that after you put your filters and everything in the dating site. And the women are going to start coming across the feed. I don't fool with the 10s and 15s. Y'all, that's for y'all. Okay. I'm looking for a yummy 6. I'm just looking for the typical Filipino. I'm going to pick out 10 of them. And I'm going to hit them with all the same thing. I'm George or whatever it is. I'm interested in you. You just sit back. And you only answer from those 10 women. Nobody else. Because you're going to show up on everybody's feed because they don't have any filters. It's 18 to 80, blind, crooked, crazy. India, Pakistan, the United States, Australia, England, doesn't matter for them. They don't have any filters, but you better have a filter. And once, out of that 10, 4 or 5 of them are going to respond. And those are the ones you start chatting with. You juggle them. And then the closer it is to you coming there, they're going to filter themselves out. Some of them are afraid. They want to, stretch it out. They don't want you to come so fast. But there's some that's been on that dating site for a long time that saying, yeah, they're chomping at the bit for you to get over here. And that's the one that's going to meet you at that airport. What's up, road track? But don't think we can all he said, sorry about the likes, but your content has my attention and forget to hit the like. I do that, but by me having a channel, that's how I respect people. I'm not gonna watch somebody's channel. If you hold my attention for 3 minutes, I gotta give you that like. It's no big deal. But even if I'm giving you all this information right now about the dating site, I take for granted that everybody can take that information and make it work. They can't do it. I mean, people are, I'm going to tell you something. People are buying lifetime memberships to these dating sites. You don't have to do that. I would make one payment. That's all you need. And I wouldn't even get on there until I've already got my ticket. I'm for sure I'm coming. And then I'm a week out until I'm going to get there. 2 weeks at the most. That's all you need. Otherwise, man, you're going to get yourself in some trouble. You're going to start liking the girl. You're going to start sending money. Hey, thanks, Hal. I say congratulations on retirement, Cal. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I retired actually in 2018. It's just official now that my Social Security will be kicking in July. But yeah, I've been retired, man, and it's one of the best decisions I made. Did I leave a lot of money on the table? Yeah, but man, who's to say I was even gonna um, be around that long? Hey, blank paper one. Thanks for that super chat. You said I started listening live doing my workout. You got me wearing tank top, Cal. I got mistaken for you inside the Anytime Fitness inside Ayala Mall. There's a guy in San Carlos City now. When I was in the States, he's like, man, everywhere I went, they thought it was you. And, I said, well, that's a good thing. But yeah, hell, as hot as it is over here, blank paper one, I would wear tank tops. Shit. Traveling dude says, do Filipinos care if a man doesn't work but still has money? Absolutely. Such as retirement money. Yeah, I mean, you really don't want to make that the focal point, but that's why this young 26-year-old woman in the prime of her life is even interested in you. You're 56. It's nothing other than that. Then okay, he can give me a new life. Maybe he can take me, show me a world that I'm never gonna see otherwise. And these are not every Filipino thinks that way, but the ones who've gotten on the dating site, you can you can read a lot out of a lot about her just by her being on the dating site. But you don't want to make that the focal point. That's why they call it an unspoken agreement. If you said this stuff out loud, it would be so cringy. So you don't say it out loud. It's an unspoken agreement. You don't say nothing, but you both in agreement. Look, lady, if I come 8,000 miles to see you and I'm taking care of everything financially, you're going to take care of me. That's all it is. And she already knows that's what's going to happen. I mean, that's so old. I mean, see, we should thank the men who came before us for setting that up for us. But a lot of guys can't handle it. They can't handle that. There's men who come over here who can't get a date. They can't handle the heat. They can't stand being away from their friends and family for periods of time. I just say get in where you fit in. If the Philippines is for you, stay here. If Thailand or Malaysia, even if your home country, my buddy Angelo, he's going home. He said, look, man, this is where this is the best fit for me is Canada. I tried the Philippines. He went to Thailand while he was here. But he says just the lifestyle. He's too young, man. He's 44. He's giving up a lot, man, to come overseas. Can you find all that over here? Yeah. But he just made a decision. Canada is for me. He says, hi, Mr. Sunshine and people. Hey, Lynn. But you got to get in where you fit in. Stop blaming the bloggers, man. He says, I have almost 2,000 Filipino phone numbers in my phone right now. I'm just collecting phone numbers as a hobby now. I think I'm addicted. Yeah. Man, that's a lot of phone numbers. What are you going to do with all the numbers? Yeah, that would be crazy right there. Yeah, he said, this is a Filipina saying it. I guess it's what her profile says she's a Filipino, but you never can tell. We'll take her word for it. He says, the genuine Filipino will care for the basic needs, health, and retirement. That's all. Yeah, you don't want to make that the vote, the focal point. But you know, why would she want to deal with you 8,000 miles away when there's attractive Filipino men right next door who work with her, who went to school with her? Okay, there's got to be a reason other than that. And a red flag that for me, it may not be for everybody else, is when a Filipino says, "Oh," you're like, "Well, why do you want to date a foreign?" And she starts throwing the Filipino men under the bus. See, that's a big red flag to me because you know they got a low body count over here. You know, just because you have one bad experience, you're gonna throw all Filipino men under the bus. See, that's a red flag to me. Oh, they're all players and oh, they cheat and all that. See, I don't buy that. I've been over here long enough to know that's not true. Most of the men over here, just like most of the women over here, are good. You know, yeah, you know, you got the same, I believe the same percentages here everywhere else. But when they start throwing Filipino men under the bus, guys, that's a red flag for me. That's raining again. He says, all money's legal. That's right. It don't matter where you getting it from. He says, I love the fact that my wife has studied me and knows my likes and dislikes. I can't even walk out the door till I've been inspected and make sure I'm presentable to the public. I truly appreciate that. Yeah, that's a real one. See, those are kind of like things that you know that you really have a genuine Filipino over here. That's just the way they are. They will know you though within a week. I told you about Merlin's mother, but all Filipinos are like that though. Every Filipino I ever dealt with, they know my likes, dislikes, what I like for breakfast, how I like my coffee, the temperature of the shower, the air cut. They'll know all of that. The way my clothes is on. Within a week of me being with them, man, they would study you, man. And you wouldn't believe it. They would know exactly how you like it. Eat the food. What's up, TJ? He said these hoes aren't loyal. Well, one thing I can say about my experiences over here, man, the typical Filipino is loyal, man. That's one of the reasons we like them. But we mess up because we end up meeting the wrong one. You don't get lucky over here, Jason. You get unlucky. Most of the women we meet over here are good women. I've never met a woman that wouldn't make a good wife. Matter of fact, all of them, even the ones I didn't marry, ended up getting married. They've just been exceptional women. Was I lucky? No, I wasn't lucky. This is the typical Filipino woman. But she wants certain things from you that we just aren't willing to give, most of us. The commitment, man, we just ain't ready for it like that. He said 2,000. Yeah, that's crazy. You got 2,000 numbers. I'm like, well, what's the point? How you gonna? This is another thing I don't like. This right here now. This is a big thing in the Philippines now. The cap stays on the bottom, so you can just go like that. It's crazy though. It gets in the way. So I just tear the damn thing off, really, and go like this. But that's the new thing over here. Yeah, he said 2,000, TJ. It's a lot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What's the end game? He said it's a hobby. He said it's a hobby. He said, I got zero. Wait, I fucked up. Oh, shoot. I done messed up. Wait. Hold on. Okay, there you go. Screwed up over here some kind of way. Okay. Ah, now I can't even see your um I'm just trying to see. I had to reboot it so that I could see y'all's comments again. This StreamYard's tripping, man. Yes, it's raining still steadily here, and we catch the we catch our ferry at 11. So I'll stay out here about 9:30. I hope the rain stops. We usually don't. It doesn't affect the water too much, and it's only like a 30-minute ferry ride from here to Sikihor. We're gonna take the kids to Gimaras um, at the end, either first week of June. I've never been to Gimaras, so it'll be another island that I can add on. I've been over here over 16 years. I've only been to 18 islands. It's just so much that I haven't seen here. That's why you can't get bored with this place. And the crazy thing about it is some of the major spots I haven't been to yet. I haven't even been to Palawan yet. I haven't even been to Surigao yet or Puerto Galera yet. And basically, that's because I live in the Visayas region. Yeah, he says, I hate those bottle caps too. Yeah, it's a new thing. I don't know why they're doing it. So honestly, when all you got to do is just turn it off and screw it back on, but it gets in my way. Oh, okay. He says, I thought buying a new car was the best thing since sliced bread. So I found out I have to teach her practically everything. And I'm a guy with thin patience, so it's a challenge. Yeah. Well, that's one thing they always tell you. Don't teach a family member how to drive. Certainly your wife. It's not going to work. You need to, I found that out so many times. It's the truth. Let somebody else do it or send her to school. You'll break up your relationship doing that. It takes a certain type of person. But the thing with me about driving over here, I just don't want to drive. Now, will me and Merlin eventually get a little bit of one of those little big cars like John had? Probably because it would make traveling to a place like Dumagetti and Sikihor and place like it would make it a lot easier. But I'm not going to drive, and I'm not going to spend over, I say 5,000 for a car. Probably less than that. My buddy Jack Wolfinger, man, him and his girlfriend, they got the deal of the century. I believe he paid 160,000 for a 2009 Nissan. Man, that thing's in great shape, but he bought it from another foreigner. And he says the 2009, man, this thing got aircon. It just need a paint job. That's all. Good tires. The ride's good. Automatic. And that would be what all we would really need. But I would probably buy something a little bit, because I'm against buying anything used over here. But if push comes to shove and I have to buy a car, it's going to be a used one. I'm not going to spend, all that money for a car. He said, I'm starting to notice a lot of mixed race Filipinos on the Filipino dating sites. Nobody wants them women over there, Cal. Well, it's just so many women over here. It's not enough, you got to understand, it's just not enough men over here, really. I'm talking about foreign men, Hamza talks. And when you look on those dating sites, there's women who have been on there forever because we chase the same women. Those 10s and 15s, all the ones with the bikinis on, everybody's chasing the same women. This is why I tell guys, I suggest to them, brother, to go after the regular looking Filipinos, man. They're going to look so much better in person. When you see them in person, I'll take a yummy 6, man. You can't worry about no damn. Who needs a 15? It's too much trouble. They're too expensive. You got too much competition. You can't trust them. And then all that is, beauty's in the eyes of the beholder anyway. You can't tell me I don't have a 10, but, to me, Maryland's a 10. But it just depends on, your taste. I want a woman I can trust, man. You got time to be way over here. And, I got to fight the world, and I got to fight the woman that I live with, too. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't know what's going on out there. Now I got to be skeptical. I got to sleep with one eye open, one eye closed, one hand on my wallet, and all that kind of stuff. No, but those dating sites, guys, believe it or not, there's a lot of women on those dating sites who've never, ever had anybody just, say, hey, I'm interested. Remember Roger and Ismi, right? They're married. They're successful YouTubers, right? Well, his wife came on my channel before they really got popular. And she said, I got up the dating site because nobody chose me. Okay? It's a lot of women on there nobody chooses because we all chase the same women. Brother went to the gym. I'm getting back. I went the other day, but I wanted to make sure I did my live stream. He said St. Carlos City has 200,000 people as of the last posting. Well, I guess you got to realize, but not in that city proper. The St. Carlos City, the city limits is stretched out so far, TJ, you wouldn't believe it. You've been through the Don Salvador Mountains. I don't even have any idea, but how far is it through there when you're still in St. Carlos, Maryland? Until you get to where? A long way, man. Trust me. It's the same way if you come into Dumageddon. You go kilometers, man. You're still in St. Carlos City, but there's nobody out there. They're scattered out. But I think it was 100. I think it's 130. We were talking to the engineer. And I think it's 131,000 he was saying. I don't know where you got that 200,000 from. There's another San Carlos City up in Luzon, but I don't know the particulars on that. But yeah, that's a lot of people. I don't think that's. Is it raining now? He said, I'm curious how many subs did you have before your first live? Probably about 500 something. Okay. Because you got to start from somewhere. Just because I wasn't monetized didn't mean I couldn't do my live stream. And because you won't, I got this, man, look, I'm still naive on YouTube, believe it or not. It's a whole lot of stuff I don't have that a lot of these other channels have, certainly with my equipment. But one of my subscribers said, man, you should start having live streams so your viewers can get to know you. Some of the best advice I've ever received. That's why when people get here like you, Hayden, and you meet me, it's like you know me already. When we met, it's like we already knew each other, but we never seen each other before. He says so people can get to know you, and that's one of the reasons. They'll want to support you then because it's like they know you already. and it's a great piece of advice. I would say start doing it, you know. But I was saying to guys, you got to use your head too. Okay. When I do my live streams and I get off my live stream, I can go for 3 hours and people still want to talk. I do that for reasons, not, but I don't get a lot of super chats and stuff like that. That's not why I do it. We just have a good conversation. And I owe that to them. I owe that to my viewers. Without my viewers and subscribers, I'm nothing. I don't have a channel. So that's my way of giving back to them by having live streams, meet and greets. You understand? But you have to be smart, okay? If you see somebody like me, and I've done this to people before, don't come on before me, come on after me. Because I fell out with, Clip and Rude. Remember them? I didn't fall out with them, but I just said, hey, man, don't do that. Come behind me. I did Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. That's just something I got out of my mind. It wasn't something I sit down and figured out right. So then when they started doing their lives, they were coming on right before me on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And I was like, don't do that, man. Have some respect. There's no way you could have come up with that. And it was just like they were undercutting me. Like all the hard work I've done. People are going to be there. Okay, don't do that. Come after me ways on YouTube. But the fact that they actively did that, I came to him, I said something to him about it. But yeah, 500. I had about 550 or something like that. But you can't be ashamed. I was watching your video today and you were talking about certain things that people talk about on their channels, right? Personal stuff and all that. You said stuff that you would never discuss. Well, that's the reason. That's the reason why your channel is probably not going to grow as fast as you want it to grow. Because when these topics, guys, that we throw out there, people really can't relate to that stuff. But when you talk about, man, I'm 27 years sober now. I don't drink anymore. Or, how many baby mamas you got? And all the real life stuff people can relate to. And they want to listen to that kind of stuff. They don't want to keep getting this relationship advice from people who only have one woman over here. And you start sounding like an expert, and that turns people off. But when you start talking about your successes, your failures, oh, I was in the Navy, and all that kind of stuff like that, and people, that's what they gravitate to, And I don't have any secrets. The secrets kill people like me. I'm going to tell my story, Hayden, not these trolls. You're living in an era where if you get popular, people are going to dox you. They're going to find out stuff about you and they're going to put it out there. Okay? There's nothing really out there that they can put about me. I don't have a police record. You know how many times I've been doxxed? But guess what? There's nothing they can put out there. And whatever it is, I've already gotten in front of it. I've already talked about it already. Yeah, you're going to get soaked. It's raining off and on here. But sometimes you got to share your real life with people. Otherwise, man, you're just going to be like everybody else. People are going to get sick of these topics. Hey, what's up, Juice? This guy's a great guy, man. And he rolled out the red carpet for me when I came to Chicago. He said, by show of hands, how many men wish they followed Cal's advice and chatted her the question, how many dicks have you sucked? Yeah, but that's just a point I'm trying to make, Juice, that we don't ask the tough questions. We're afraid to because we see this attractive young woman in front of us. We don't want to run her off. Yeah, well, I'm sorry. they're not gonna, they're gonna ask you every question that they can think of. Okay, even when you already know them, even the typical Filipino over here. Remember, I told you I was doing that video and the old man came by, and it's crazy, man. He was like, "Yeah, you probably got a big dick, don't you?" This is an old guy. I'm making it's a trip, man, because he's like asking me all these questions. Because they'll ask you, "Where you going? How long have you been here? Are you married to a Filipina?" And all that stuff. Man, they'll ask you questions. They're not trying to be disrespectful. It's just how they are over here. It's like an open society over here, you know. And he said, "Y'all, you married to a Filipina?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "You probably got a big dick, don't you?" And I just looked at him like, I was like, "Man, this is crazy." He said, "You want to be tangentially connected to 100,000 penises?" He said, "What time is it over there?" Well, we're usually 12 hours ahead of the East Coast. So it's 9:10 a.m. on a Tuesday morning here. I'm going to stay on here to 9:30. Then we got to go because the boat leaves at 11. They got more boats going over the Sticky Horn now. It's the summer. People on vacation. So they got like 6 or 7 boats now. They only had 2, one in the morning and one in the evening. One at 6 a.m. going to Sticky Horn, and one at 6 p.m., 6:20. Now they've got 6, 7:20, no, 7:30, 11, 1, excuse me, 5:30, and 7:20 now. He says the weather always warm or hot, never any cold or snow. There's no, that's one of the reasons I love it over here, tropical weather. The average temperature is about 82 degrees every single day. It never gets cold. There's no snow. Only ice you're going to see is in your refrigerator. What's up, Roger? He said, "Where you staying?" I'm going to stay at Gladwin's place for the first 2 nights. He's, believe it or not, it's called Gold Sky. But then we're going down to Gold View. I got this off Agoda, which you really got to read the reviews on Agoda, man. I used to be a big fan of Agoda. And one thing about Agoda is they got a lot of different, they're contracted with a lot of different places. And I just wanted something different. They got their own private beach. It's not a lot of money. It's only like 40 plus a night. But they got a swimming. That's it. Going to the Belady Tree and going to the underground falls when you take that tour. But I've never stayed. Gladwin is the farthest I've stayed down in San Juan. But this is like 6 kilometers away from him. Just something different. I need to be by the beach, man. And then I'll be back to normal. See, I haven't gotten back to normal yet. I'm sleeping all the way through. He says, "Hey, Cal, I didn't really mean a car. It was a reference meant dealing with a virgin." Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, as far as I'm concerned, man, virgins are overrated. I don't want a virgin. I've had a virgin over here before, and it's too messy to me. And it's just, I don't know, it's no big deal. I think it's just for a man's ego. He wants, to be the first and only, the one and only. And I guess if I were a virgin, then maybe I would want a virgin. But since I'm not a virgin, it's just overrated to me. And then if you're the only man she's ever had, she's not gonna be able to weigh you up against anybody. How's she gonna know you're a good man? And then after a while, she might get that 7 year itch. She might want to know what she's missing out there. It's to each their own though. But to me, it's just um, it's overrated to me. But messy. It's just I'm not trying to be cringy or anything. It just was. And you're right. You got to teach them everything, and But we had to leave out of a hotel early because she bled so bad. He said that's because he'll never go to the Philippines. Well, I know a lot of people that watch these channels, they never go. And they'll tell you, hey, I'm never going there. I just like to watch the vlogs, the videos. There's nothing wrong with that. But the meet and greet is going to be May 31st. If you're around and you never come to a meet and greet before, come, man, try it out, man. You'll be shocked. There's always good people there. I mean, it never fails. You know, you can meet some more expats, good conversation, good food. I'm gonna hire a couple of girls to come in and sing. And then but we'll have karaoke. They got a built-in karaoke system in that room. So you can sing if you want to. If you need a room, they've got rooms. This is an old brand house. He built it. It's nice. He gave me and Maryland a tour of the place. It's really nice. The only thing they don't have is a gym. I told him, I said, man, you should put a smaller gym in here. But if you see this new Mahawani hotel, the expansion, oh man, it's so big. And Maryland's like, they don't have a gym in this big thing. I believe they're going to have a parking uh, area in there because this thing is huge. If you see the original Mahawani and now the expansion, you're like, what are they thinking? Who's coming here? What do they know that we don't know? In a little place like St. Carlos City, to build a big ass place like that, man, I mean, it's huge. They got vision. He said, depends on the mixed race. But I think he's probably talking about, half black, half Filipino. Because, Filipinos have so much, uh, they're all mixed race. Aren't we all mixed race? But I think that's what he's talking about. But as you go up north, around Angeles City and Pampanga, that area, you're going to see, a lot of the mixed race because, a lot of men, they go up there and they retire there. If they've been there through, military bases, Subic Bay and all those places, you're going to see a lot of a mixed race like he's talking about. But it's not just them that's going unnoticed. Uh, yeah, now it's pretty good too. He said, then I don't care. I'll pay 210,000 pesos for a 2010 Mazda. See, that's the route I would go. I'm usually against buying used anything over here. But if I do decide to buy a car, it's gonna be used. I'm just not gonna spend that kind of money. Now, a good friend of mine, Cornelius Mack, he bought a brand new Mitsubishi. It's nice. I mean, his back seat looks like a couch. It's comfortable, man. It's really a beautiful car. I think he said he paid 1.3 million. Now, I just don't have that kind of money to spend on a car. That's another house for me. But that's just for me. He's got that kind of money. You know, I don't. And even if I did, I don't think I'd spend 1.3 million. Like I said, that's another house for me. Yeah, I'm 36. Yeah, I think you were 33 when I met you, TJ. Time's flying. He's 36 now. He said, sure, gal, it's not too far from you, Cal. Been there. It's a beautiful habitat. Yeah, we're going there. They got a plane now, Mike, that flies there, I believe, once or twice a week from Cebu. But knowing me and Maryland, what we'll probably do is catch that ferry and get like the suite, which it leaves at night. So when you go to sleep and wake up, you're there. We want to take the kids since it's a 10-hour ferry ride. They can go to sleep. They won't even know they're on the boat. I was right there before. I used to live in, well, I live, but I was dating a woman from Louisiana, which is, a barangay of Bislick City. So I'm basically there. I just never went. And they're saying that the foreigners are taking it over and the locals aren't too happy about it. I don't know about that now. He said you could have got a new car. I don't think so. No, you're not going to get a new car. You can get those Japanese, I forgot what they call them, because we're even thinking about getting one of those, but you really can't travel too far in those over here. But now you're not going to get a brand new car for 210,000 pesos, John. That's not true. I'm sorry. Yeah, send them to driving school. I would. What's up, Michael Alexander? Teaching your family members is going to drive a wedge. I tried it before. The last one I tried was my oldest daughter, and we fell out. I just don't have the patience for it. Hey, I just can't wait to touch down, Cal. It's best to trust them getting extensions with credit card, or best to walk in immigration every 30 days. I would go into the immigration, and then the first one you get is 29 days, Raymond. Then after that, you can get 2 months. It's crazy because if you try to get 30 days versus the 2 months, it's only like, I want to say 100 peso difference. It's not that much difference. So you might as well do the 2 months, not every 30 days. And some people do it online, but they say that you have to go in there anyway for some reason. I know you got to go in there for your ACR card. It just gives me a chance to get away. You know, it's an excuse for a vacation. And we come here and then we'll go to Sikihor. Yeah, he said, you're right. Yeah, Pagansanan. Yeah, that's the difference in Carlos City up in Luzon. I didn't realize it was that big. But the San Carlos City where I live, it has the same amount of residents as Dumaguete, but Dumaguete has more visitors. So where San Carlos City generally has 130,000 and it only has like 140,000 people coming in and out of there on a 24-hour period. Whereas Dumaguete has about 131,000 people, but about 450,000 people coming in and out of there on a 24-hour period. And that's because of the airports and, Dumaguete is considered like a tourist place with Sikihor Island right there and everything like that. And a lot of the workers are coming in from these little surrounding provinces and stuff. And of course, a lot of the foreigners and stuff. But San Carlos City, where I live, is a class 2 city. Dumaguete's class 3, and I can see the difference. Dumaguete's more urban than San Carlos City, even though it's nowhere near Bacolod and Cebu and all those places. But certainly not as clean. But I like Dumagetti. Hey, Raymond, thanks for that super sticker. I like Dumagetti, though. I don't know if I could live here. Maybe I could. I don't know. Hey, that's okay, Julius. Thanks for joining the live stream. But yeah, get in where you fit in over here. Um, honestly, it's not a one size fits all over here, guys. But one thing you got to do, I'm going to ask y'all to do: stop blaming these bloggers, man. Just take what they say as a grain of salt. It's like a buffet. Take what you like and leave the rest. It's really going to depend on you anyway. When we speak, man, we're speaking to a universe of listeners, man. And no two people is getting this, they're hearing and watching the same video, man, but they're getting a whole different message, man. And their results are going to vary. That's just how it is. But I wrote some stuff down, it says, two men can watch the same video and the same information, but will get something totally different out of it. If a 45-year-old man, a 70-year-old man watch the video, certainly on dating, their results are going to be different. And certainly on should I live alone? Should I be single over here? See, we'll put that message out there. It might not be relevant for a 70-year-old man to come over here and be alone. He's coming from loneliness. He may want a woman meeting him at the airport. What happens if he has a health emergency? He may need a life coach over here, more so than a 45-year-old. It just, this isn't one size fits all, man. But certainly stop blaming vloggers. And instead of saying, oh, if Calvin can do it, I can do it, you should be asking yourself, can I do that? Can I move all that way? I mean, all that far away from home, away from my family, friends, and familiar, and thrive? Can I deal with a younger woman? Because, everybody has got a younger woman over here. Can I really deal with that? And everything that comes along with that. It's a lot that comes along with dealing with younger women, man. I really can't handle Marilyn for real. And she takes it easy on me in a lot of things. I mean, I just can't. She's 20 years younger than me. I really can't, keep up with her for real. But we get along, man. That's really the key. We get along, man, and I can trust her. But, can you really deal with these younger women like that? Yeah, I like them, man. They had a good thing going. I don't know why they stopped. And I don't have anything against them. They really had a good thing going. I think James and Rue's sister have kind of taken their spot. Because James, that's Rue's little sister that he's his fiance. He said that's the reason their channel imploded. I don't know. A lot of channels implode because people want to stick to these topics, man. After a while, it's going to get old. People are going to know, hey, what's life really like over there for you in the Philippines or wherever you are. I saw where Richie Rich and him and Chain kind of went off topic today and started talking about their life together and what it was really like behind the camera. And I think that's a good thing that they did that. That everything, is not all peaches and cream, I think it was a great thing they did. Now, will some trolls eventually use that against them or something as they get bigger? Because their channel is going to grow. Yeah, but I think them going off script the way that they did, I think it was good for their channel because you can go the content. Nobody knows your life better than you. There's so much more content when you talk about your life over here instead of just these topics. Because people always ask me all the time, how can you come up with a different video every day? It's real easy because I'm talking about my life and my experiences over here. You just keep on talking about that same stuff. He says, off topic, he says, anybody else playing Balatro? I just started last week and I'm hooked. I've never heard of it. Balatro. What's up, Ronnie? He says, hey, Cal and everyone. Calvin, you and your wife should visit Rojas City for us and give us a tour. Rose, what are you talking about? You talking about Rojas or Rosa City? What are you talking about? We're gonna do more traveling, me and Merlin. Your people docs, of course they do that. Especially somebody like me, but that I don't find anything, you know, because I don't even have a criminal record, and I'm gonna tell my story anyway. I'm not gonna let them tell it. But yeah, they do it to people all the time. I believe that's how they did. What's the guy that ended up being thrown in immigration and what's his name? Zoom over here. That's how they got that information on him. See, that's going too deep, man. The man paid his debt to society. There was no reason for them to get mad at him. He had already paid his debt to society. I never got that. That was just for more content. Like, oh, he lied to me on my channel or whatever it was. I'm like, well, dude, the dude already, was convicted, served his time, and he's out. And that was so many years ago. But they try to bring it up to destroy the man. And, somebody sent that to immigration, obviously. And instead, the Philippines was looking at it like it just happened, not realizing that happened, a decade ago or something like that. And he was classified as an undesirable. Now, can he appeal that? Yeah, you can appeal that stuff. Probably cost him a lot of money. He said, I heard YouTube censoring and demonetizing creators left and right. Yeah, you're hearing right. A good friend of mine, and I won't put his business out here. He messaged me. He's a good friend. Every time I come to Dumagetti, we eat and everything, lunch, and he's got a good channel. They deleted his channel. He had over 20-something thousand subscribers. And he said, Cal, I don't know if it's even worth starting over or not. He just said that him and YouTube got into a pissing match and they deleted his channel. Yeah, but he didn't give me any details, but he said, just in case you're looking for my channel, because I follow him, I watch his channel. This is what happened. It's gone. I don't no longer have it. But yeah, you're right about that. He said, I don't think YouTube is for me. Yes, it's not for everybody. Some people can't tell a story. Some people just can't do interesting content. A lot of people are trying this behind the scenes stuff. It's not working. For some people, it is. The easiest thing that I see people do, I don't get it. I don't even see why YouTube is paying people to do it. They're reusing content. These channels, they react. I don't understand that, man. That's really, if somebody came up with that, was a brilliant idea for people. I can't do it. But somebody's already made the video. Somebody's already put the information out there, and then they'll take it and put it on their channel and react to it and blow up, man. You know, if you can somehow figure out how to do that without being copyrighted and all of that, that would be the way to go. Hell, you would never run out of content. But I'm just not. I think that there's some type of unspoken agreement where they're doing this with this information, and the people just aren't copyrighting them, because you could easily copyright them, and YouTube would strike them for that. But people do that, and you know that would be the easy way to go, because people are really they're getting famous, they're getting rich off of that. Yeah, it's crazy when you think about it, though. They're really getting paid. Um, what's up, Big Love? He said, "Hey, Cal and crew, Cal Pumpkin Joe, is he still in the Philippines?" Yeah, he just gave up YouTube. He got great equipment. As a matter of fact, he had good content as far as I'm concerned, but he said it just wasn't worth it. You know, he couldn't crack the code and really make it worth his while. But yeah, he's just one of those guys. He lives over here under the radar. He's happy with his family, man. He's got a good life over here, really. A life that a lot of us would want to live. But yeah, he's still over here. He's doing good. But yeah, guys, I got to get off here because we got to go. We got to catch the boat at 11 o'clock, man. Thank y'all for the super chat, super stickers, all your thumbs up, all your support for Sunshine Shoulders, man. I really, really appreciate it. Of course, I'm going to do some videos over there. It's been a while since I even been to Sicky Horse, since we've been to Sicky Horse. But take care, y'all. See y'all next time. I got to get off here real quick. Yeah.